proud of. And God bless all of you. Thank you.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we are listening to a special program with Harry C. Alford, President and CEO of the National Black Chamber of Commerce. We will return to our speaker in a minute for our traditional City Club questions. We encourage you to formulate questions now while we break for a few announcements. We welcome all of you here, especially those who are guests, and we hope that you will join the City Club and become active in our ongoing civic dialogue. We are pleased to welcome guests at tables hosted by the Commission on Economic Inclusion, Minority Business Solutions, the Northeast Ohio chapter of the National Black MBA Association, and also Blacks in Management and Cuyahoga Community College. This is one of two programs the City Club is hosting in partnership with Policy Bridge, and the next program will be on the same date, the 26th, Thursday, March 26th, with our guest Dr. Alan Curtis, President and CEO of the Eisenhower Foundation, who will be discussing the Kerner Commission report 40 years later. For more information about City Club programs or to make a reservation or order a tape of today's program, please call the City Club at 888-223-6786 or 216-621-0082. You can also visit the website at www.cityclub.org. Now we would like to return to our speaker for our traditional City Club question and answer period. And excuse me, I would also like to acknowledge Mayor Eric Brewer from the City of East Cleveland and Councilman Zach Reed from Ward 3 in the City of Cleveland, and thank you for coming today. We welcome questions from everyone, including guests. Holding the microphone today is the City Club's Manager of Public Relations and Programs, Ms. Carrie Miller. Any questions?
Good afternoon. I enjoyed your speech very much. And I hate to seem backward looking, given what you said about the future, but here in the greater Cleveland area, there has been some discussion about regional government. And I know that in Indianapolis, there is metro governance, I believe, that was put in place. Unigov, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering if that had any effect at all on the efforts that you made and were successful in achieving in Indianapolis.
Yeah, good question. Unigov happened long ago. It was the vision of Richard Lugar, Senator Richard Lugar now, who is the mayor of Indianapolis, and he brought the business community together, and they developed a plan to make Indianapolis a big first-class city. At the time, Fort Wayne was thinking of doing the same, and it didn't. Each city, Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, had a population of about 200,000 at that time. Today, Indianapolis has a population over 1 million, NFL team, NBA team. It's a big city. It's a big franchise. Fort Wayne is still at 200,000. So it was a good thing. It brought in surrounding cities. The whole county, Oklahoma did this too, the whole county became the city. And they had a plan. So to regionalize Cleveland, you're probably going to have to compete with a Chicago, to compete with a New York, share your resources, but also remember diversity is the key. Diversity is going to make you strong. And the racial history the United States has, what makes us great is our diversity, believe it or not.
You talked about efforts, I guess, as far as diversity and also as far as dealing with more with the unions. What are, basically on a state level or on a federal level, what are some of the legislative efforts that your organization is trying to initiate, put forth to meet some of those hiring goals as it relates to the stimulus package and also as far as increase more minority business?
Yeah, fortunately, the legislation exists. It's just not implemented. And keep in mind, every minority business law federally was written by either Adam Clayton Powell or Perrin J. Mitchell. There hasn't been a law written since. So Congressional Black Caucus, and my biggest problems Let me. This is live, isn't it? I won't get in trouble. Let me give you an example of policy gone awry. Okay, AGOA, Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, which says anything coming from Africa shipped to the United States can come in tariff-free. It's to develop Africa, to promote their business. So what happens, Congressman Rangel, powerful man that he is approached by Walmart, Target, JCPenney, textile industry, to put in a little amendment into that AGOA agreement to where China and India can run their cotton through Kenya and Africa, do the dresses there and the pants, send them to the United States, tariff-free, and not against the trade imbalance on China. It says made in Africa, made in Kenya, made in Tanzania. I'm in Kenya, and a crowd of cotton farmers are at my hotel lobby demanding to see me. And it was about that. It was putting them out of business. They stopped buying their own cotton. They're getting it from slave labor in China and running it through. I go to a textile mill in Nairobi, and I see nothing but the Indians managing the place, and all the cotton says made in China, from China. And so I said, well, who owns this building? Kabaki? I was joking because Kabaki is the president. And they said, how'd you know? It was his sister. So corruption and a black congressman from the United States hurting cotton farmers in Africa, as opposed to a Parent Mitchell writing laws to develop our businesses and Adam Clayton Powell making sure that we were included in everything. We need some Congress people who can go back to those days. Oh, one other thing. That law that Nydia Velasquez is putting through, there was a black congressman who actually did that law, but she wants to remain incognito so the unions don't come after her. Okay?
Mr. Alford.
Yes, sir.
You said that you're coming to Cleveland. How and who are you working with in order to bring the Chamber of Commerce to Cleveland?
That's a good question, too. I don't get involved in the development of a local chamber. I wait for people to step forward from that community, and our director of projects is Charles DeBow, and he will work with them in starting the chamber, and then he would tell me when they're ready, and then we will start supplying them with things, technical support and things that they need. I'm also on the board of the U.S. Chamber, which there have been times when the traditional chamber is unready with that and might try to stop that, and I have ways of making peace there. So it's to add another ingredient in the cake. It makes it stronger, you know? And if you've got 20%, 30% of your population floundering, how can you be strong? So it's to promote the community, to provide economic development, specifically to African American communities. Now, when we started doing this stuff, I was in Atlanta when we kicked off the Atlanta Chamber of Commerce, and everybody said, we don't need a black chamber, we're going to get in trouble, we don't need a black chamber. And Lou Walker, the founder of the Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce, brought yellow pages with him and went to a certain section and read off 120 ethnic-oriented chamber of commerces or business associations.